Well, good evening, YouTubers. My wife just woke up, so you might see her get up here in the background. How's everybody doing tonight? It is chilly and rainy, somewhat cool. We've gotten some torrential downpours. I think we must have had that same storm that came out of California here not long ago. Don't know, but it sure has rained today for sure. What's up, Steven? How's the weather out there in California? You can probably hear some of the rain hitting they call it a Florida room down here, but basically it's a sunroom. Yeah, it wasn't too warm here. I think it got to like 59 or something. It's supposed to be the sunshine state, but there hadn't been a whole lot of sunshine here lately. It's been raining quite a bit. Oh, you bet your butt I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah, Corey, I'm sure it probably is raining in Georgia. It's probably the same storm that we're getting right now. So I am rooting for the Chiefs, guys. I'm a longtime Chiefs fan. Grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but hi, Jerry. I did get your videos and stuff. I don't post much on Facebook. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, I'm not as active on there as I don't know. I just found YouTube and that's about it. Yeah, it's going to be the match of the quarterbacks on tomorrow's game. That's for sure. No. Well, you got Brady that's trying to get another ring, and of course, you think so?
Well, think about the three other teams down there in Tampa have won a championship. What's it going to look like Brady's first year not getting a championship? We already know who won.
Well, that's a good point, but the Chiefs could pull it off.
Okay, so I have heard rumors that the bets are going on in Vegas. The highest bet for the Chiefs to win is like 500,000. Okay, so somebody put a $2.3 million bet on the Bucks.
Wow.
Well, tell me we don't already know who won.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jerry. I think it's going to be a good game nonetheless. Yeah, that's no lie. It's definitely a lot of dough. More than I got. I hear that wife was telling me that the tickets are going for something stupid down there too, and it's just basically first responders that are allowed in the stadium. So,
well, I think there's some fans, but a lot there's from my understanding, there's like 7,500 just from the Tampa area.
what'd you tell me the tickets were going for?
5 to 8 grand.
Whew.
What I read.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, it's like I said, no, you're all right. Chiefs 21, Bucks 17. I like that score. I'll take Chiefs by 3. That seems to be the consensus. I find machine work pretty interesting. I wish I had machines like that I could make stuff, but they're just way out of my price range. It's kind of barren out here tonight, guys, and only show to have 3 of you online so far. My head's kind of blocking the TV on purpose. That way they don't copyright me. But hey, I had a good question from a somebody that was watching my videos. They left me an email, and they were asking about. He had an 06 dually pickup that lost reverse. That's being a dually, and it lost reverse. And he said it was an 80. That means it had a 6 liter in it. And he was asking me if he took the pin out for the reverse servo, he could push it in a little bit further and he could feel the band apply, but apparently he just lost reverse. I tell you, I had one of those here not long ago at the shop, and the customer was kind of the same situation. He didn't want to put a lot of money in this truck, but he didn't want to have to put a whole transmission in it either. And of course, it was a real good customer, friend of the boss. So, he wanted me to do something with it. So basically there's a tool that you use with a 4L80 that measures the pin length, kind of like setting up the 2.4 servo on a 700 or 4L60, 4L60E, all those, same principle. But anyway, I measured the factory pin, and of the 7 choices of pins that you can use for this thing, it had a number 4 pin in it, and they go by the lands on the tip of the pin. You got like a skinny land and a thick land, 2 skinny lands, no lands at all, 2 thick lands, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, it had the shortest one in there, or number 4 in there. And I was like, well, I says, the only thing I can do is I can try to put a longer pin in there. And so I took the tool that we got and measured it. And according to what it is, it would take a number 7 pin, which is the longest pin that they make. On the 4L80s, if there's any material left on that low reverse band, it will grab. So got some seals for it, got the long pin, stuck it in there, put everything back together, and lo and behold, it had reverse again. So, I mean, you can save them that way. If you're trying to save a guy some money, or you're doing one, if this is your own, sometimes you can save them that way. They just, as they wear, if that pin was on the if it kind of erred to the side of being short, then as the transmission would wear and stuff like that, that pin will become too short. Stephen, I'm not done with L to the W's yet. I just, I've been recording videos. I did a part 2 of some teardown and some tedious stuff. I've got to get it edited. His first video comes out tomorrow at noon. So I'm actually doing another video to show you what I'm putting in this. So if you guys got any curiosity to what's going in it, you'll be able to see it. And but he's getting excited, and so am I, and I'd like to get him down the road, and it's going to be pretty cool. I've got a 4L80 out there that I got to dig into to find out what happened on it. No idea. He said he was driving it and he got to work, shut it off, got in it to go somewhere and put it in gear, and nothing happened. It almost sounds like a shaft broke or something. So yeah, his 91 is nice. Hi, Mr. Monroe. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. But anyway, we thought it might have been a converter that had failed, so we stuck another converter in it and did the same thing. So it's either got a pump problem or it broke a shaft. Not sure yet. We'll get it apart and find out here. And gave me a transfer case to go through. It's not an XHD, it's just an HD. So it's a 263 HD, which is the electronic shift transfer case they put behind the 4L80s. The XHD went behind the Duramax and the 8100 with the Allison. Stephen, that red paint is real similar. To I think they call it got some funny name for it. Pull Me Over Red or something like that. It's pretty bright. It's a good color of red. It's more of a red. I do have the parts for Scarlett's transmission, but since I offered to do something with L to the W's, then I put it on the back burner to get his done. But I've got all the parts for it too. So any of them will go bad after they sit for a while, Corey. The seals can just kind of dry up if they sit for several years, or the fluid that's in it will varnish, which is kind of like what I found on that 4L60E that I'm building for Scarlett. It had sat for a while and it had varnish in the bottom of the pan. And who Scarlett explained that? Okay, Scarlett is my 87 IROC that I have, and I named it Scarlett because it's red. So that's how that name comes along. I've got names for a lot of my vehicles. Like my 3/4 ton pickup, I named Big Bertha, just Bertha for short. We got a little Escape that I named Bessie. And she's a running bitch too, let me tell you. Don't have a name for the wife's truck. It's just a toy, you know. Steven, I don't know. It just all depends on how the funds go. You know, it's just you're limited on what I could do. I was hoping to, earn some money, do some side jobs and stuff like that. Maybe save up, whatever I can to get where I need to go. And I'm not sure of anything right now. Not with the way the world is right now, and I'm not going any further than that with it because I said no politics, so I'm not going to get into it. So, at any rate, I see your gate is still working on your last video. Yeah, it's still working for now. Hopefully, it keeps you right on a working. That thing has been the most temperamental thing I think I've ever seen. How many times have I had to replace that board since we've been here? The board and the gate? Isn't it like 4 times?
3, 4, 5, 2 freaking million.
Maudine. That's appropriate name. How'd you come up with the name Maudine, Corey? By the way, guys, this is your time. If you got a question that you want to ask me or something like that, and go ahead and ask it. That's kind of why I started doing these. If you guys got questions I can answer, I'd love to be able to help you. That's hilarious. So YouTube sends me a notification that I'm live on YouTube. How funny is that? Cracks me up. She is a superstar. There's Yoda there behind the. We named her Yoda, or I named her Yoda. Is if you rub the bottom of her chin, she's got this little brown spot on the bottom of her chin, and she lays her ears back, and she looks just like Yoda. Yep, the Z-Pack works good, Jerry. That's a good clutch upgrade. No, I didn't actually paint her, Jerry. It was already painted that color. I just thought it was appropriate. How many animals we got? We've got 3 dogs, 4 cats, and 2 horses, and a partridge in a pear tree. Thumbs. You'll have to enlighten me what that means, Jerry. I don't know. Well, we do have it. Well, it's not really a farm. We got a little small ranch, I guess you'd call it. The horses used to belong to my mother-in-law and when we lost her, we acquired the horses. So we've been taking care of them since then. So we're afraid to find out what would happen to them if we tried to sell them. You know, they'd probably end up as a paintbrush or something like that. Bill, is it a half ton or a 3/4 ton? Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate that. Deer Slayer, it makes a difference on whether or not he's got one that's made by a Zuzu or if he's got one that's made by New Process, because that was one of the years that they started changing thing. Yeah, you could make a video while you're running a lathe, Jerry. It's not that big a deal. You know, they've actually got. I know a lot of guys get those GoPros and they stick them on their head, and that way you can watch. You can get your hands in front of you while you're working. I mean, they just put it on their forehead, so. And you said it's a half ton. Okay. So just for verification purposes, we'll look it up real quick for you. I didn't like that. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Bailey. Yeah. Probably till quarter till. That's what it usually has been running. You want to get up? All right, hang on a minute. Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to block your view for a minute. All right. Okay. Yeah, I know you're blind deer slayer. I'm doing it on purpose. There you go. Wife didn't want to be on camera, so 2007 Chevrolet. All right. On there is on a new body style. They call it the new body style. If it looks like the body style from 2000, 99 to 07 or something like that, that's going to be one. But if it's new body style like the 2007 to 2015 or something like that, it's going to be different. No, not really, but she was in her Sunday best, and yeah, she just didn't want to be seen on camera. What's my favorite year of IROC? You know what? I really like them all. They didn't change them much. Technically, I think to me the 86 was one of my favorites, even though it wasn't. They didn't come up with the rollers until 87. The 86 was a fantastic handling car. That was one of the best Z28s there was. Okay, if it's the new body style, then it's probably going to be in a Zuzu transfer case. It'll have a funky emblem stamped into the case, and the actuator for the transfer case is actually mounted to the back of the transfer case, whereas on a new process, the encoder motor, the shift motor, is mounted on the side of the transfer case. That's the easiest way to tell the difference. If you've got a last 8 of a VIN, I can actually run your VIN and look to see exactly which transfer case is in that. Yeah, Jerry, I used to live in Missouri for a while, which is, pretty much due west of you. And it gets pretty cold up there too. Probably not as close to you. Probably get lake effect snow and that kind of stuff. The 90 IROCs are kind of rare. And it probably is because it was the last year of it. They don't seem to be as popular. I see a lot of guys picking up 86s all over the place. It's one of those, I don't know. Like I said, I had a buddy of mine that had an 86, and that thing would just, even for being just the 5-liter, that thing would flat get with it. And it handled better than any of the others. I know that they handle like crap with the factory alignment spec in it. If you make modifications to it and run a little bit of negative camber on the front ends, they handle so much better. Shane, I'd agree to that. I've got a lot of friends up north. I've got a couple of them that got 89s. The donor IROC that I've got out there that I'm actually doing a lot of the work on and using for donor parts, it's actually got the tune port engine in it that I'm going to use in Scarlet. It's an 89 also. Yeah, it is a 5.7. It was 5.7. It's got the Borg Warner 7 3/4 rear end, disc brake, or they used to name them the Australian 9-bolt, but it's got that rear end in it. I don't know what gear ratio it is. I haven't decoded it yet, and I haven't pulled the cover. My guess it's probably a 277, which is what common, because I don't think it had the G92 option. With this G92 option, it would have had like 323s in it. 92 RS would have been a 7 5/8. And if it was an RS, more than likely it's got probably 273s in it also, unless it was a 5-speed. And I think the 5-speeds came with 308s in it. All right, hang on, Bill. Let me grab that over there. Copy. Let's see what this dude's got in it. Paste. Get an open recall on that, Bill. It's for the front passenger airbag, but it says it's incomplete or limited parts are available, so you may not have any way to get parts for it yet anyway. Let's see. You have a NQH transfer case, which NQH, that is an Isuzu transfer case. And the fluid that is required in that is Deck 6. So it takes just regular Deck 6 transmission fluid in that transfer case. And that, like I said, that should be the one that's got the shift motor on the back of it. Yeah, Stephen, I think the reason why they did that is they figured that the T5 wouldn't be able to hold up to it. And in all reality, the way they've got the gears to be able to keep them somewhat quiet, I'm sure that's why they did it. G-Force Transmissions has got a you can get a hardened gear set for it, and they're not as tightly cut angled, and it'll make noise, but it'll hold up some power too. But Like I said, I've known guys that have had 383s in front of those things, and they hold up fine as long as you don't put slicks on them. You put slicks on it and it bites, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to shatter the transmission or blow the rear end out of it. '89 and lent it for an 18 years. 18 years again and put it in. Well, Shane, on something like that, my guess it's probably going to have to go through probate. If it's in any relative's name, though, you might talk to an attorney to ask him how you go about that. But I would guess that if you get a death certificate or something like that, proving that he passed, and you want to keep the car, I mean, something legal like that, I would probably consult an attorney on that and see what you can come up with. You bought a Firebird hardtop 69 for $400, Jerry? Wow. Bill, I don't know why they haven't either. I mean, unless you're not the original owner of the truck. If you're not the original owner, you may not get one. Yeah, Shane, I would, like I said, I'd probably get hold of an attorney and see what he has to say, he or she has to say about that. If it's in the family, you should be able to do something with it. It'd be a shame, just to, because you know what's going to happen. Otherwise, it'd probably end up in the salvage yard or something like that, as no title. You ought to be able to get the title for it. Proving that, he passed away. Jerry, I ended up getting a core for, and using the parts for Scarlet, and it actually had 5-gear planets in it. So I got lucky with that deal. I didn't have to buy them because I was going to put them in anyway. We'll have to see how things go there. Oh, he forged my dad's signature. Wow. Man, that kind of gets sticky then. Them old Buicks would run pretty good. I had a guy I used to work with, had a Buick Riviera, I think it was. Yes, Shane, I don't know if I'd go that route. I mean, I'd want to get it done legal so there's no loopholes that they, try to get you or something like that. That'd be a bad deal all the way around. Oh, man, guys, it's tough to do this stuff. It really is. I've got I got so many projects I want to do, and there's just not enough time. As slow as it's getting at work right now, that's something else I noticed with ever since ever since this thing happened on January 6th. That's all I'm going to say there. Businesses started. Well, I guess it was actually been the 20th. But after that, I mean, businesses kind of died off, and it's getting pretty light. I don't know, Corey. I don't even know if it's still on Facebook, because that's where I found it. Let me look real quick. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see here. I'd be surprised if it's still on there. I saved it a long time ago, but I don't see it. I bet it's gone. There's a dealership in Jacksonville that's had a yellow 85 IROC on there for quite some time. Yeah, I don't see it. I bet it's gone. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Nope, it's still on here. It's got some faded paint on it, and like I said, they show pictures of it, and the taillights are in the hatch, the cluster's in the hatch, the radio's in the hatch, the center console piece is in the hatch. He said he'd stripped it quite a bit, but it's like that emerald green metallic front fascia's trashed on it. There's basically no interior. It's got a B&M shifter that I can see just looking at it. But I mean, it didn't look like there's any rust on the floorboards. I mean, it's pretty clean, but the interior's gutted. And he's still asking the same price for it. No, I think our governor said enough's enough. And Stephen. And so again, I haven't hardly worn one since all this crap started. It's a mandate. It's not a law. So, and I don't know. I know it. Business is definitely going to be bad for the next 4 years. Like I said, I mean, I may have more time to be able to do stuff here if things keep going the way at work. They may start cutting us again. I was lucky to make it through the first round when they did the shutdowns and stuff. We stayed open the whole time. Bust tonight, laugh out loud, notepad. Yeah, I just, Corey, I don't know if you heard me talk about that guy, but that car is still out there. Man, I wish I could get more people on there. That's for sure. It'd be pretty cool. I'm like you, Bill. I mean, so the wife and I have felt the same way about the whole thing. I mean, I just don't agree with it. I don't think any of us agree with it. I mean, there's not enough proof that they work. They say, well, follow the science. Well, you know what? The science is only as good as what they're telling you, is my point. So everything getting censored here lately. I guarantee we're not getting told the truth. But at any rate, well, I see a couple of people coming in and out here. I want to leave a chance if somebody wants to come in. Yeah, and I heard that I heard the petition I heard the petition that they've been going around to get him out has got enough of the signatures now. So I don't know if it'll happen or not, but his name is mud out there right now. I can tell you that. I feel sorry for you, Stephen. I really do. I sure as heck wouldn't want to be out there right now. What other questions you got for me? I see some more people coming in. Hey, there you are, Jonathan. You've been trying like hell to try to get me alive. No, that's for sure. I still think something's going to happen here that we don't know about. So, I mean, I'd say be patient and, keep the faith. I do a lot of praying every day that something good's going to happen because, I mean, we're going the wrong direction right now. I can tell you that. How's Mr. Lawson? I know you've been trying to get out here forever. Just keep missing it and you don't have to work. I'm just trying to playing with the times to maybe you can get out here and get online and say, hey, Yeah, Bill, I've seen there has been a lot of people that are saying they live in California and moving all over the place. There's a lot of people been moving down here. So thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. Do the best I can with what I've been given. So oh no. You got the Rona, Jonathan. That sucks. See, I think I had it in when they announced that all this coronavirus was a thing. I think I had it in March of last year. before they had announced that this was, because I got sicker than a dog. And, usually I'll get sick maybe once a year, maybe. The older I get, the more consistent it seems to be. But I don't think I'd been that sick in a while, and I just felt like dog. I was just felt really bad. And I missed like a little over a week, actually a week of work. I never miss work, but man, I was so wiped out. I did a lot of sleeping, a lot of drinking, lots of water, and taking lots of NyQuil. That was the only thing that I could get to sleep. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jonathan. I was the same way. But, I never went and got tested for it. I didn't go jump through hoops. Oh, I want to find out that I had the Rona. To me, it just felt like a really bad cold or the flu. It was just, I've always let my body fight it. I try to take, obviously I'm no small fry, but I do try to sometimes eat decent. I'm not that great at it, but, I know try to eat stuff that's good for you is a really good remedy. I don't know, Stephen, if it was the flu, it would only got me by, a couple of days, but this thing here, I mean, it hammered me. I was just done. Jerry, I do have that valve, and I do that on all my 4L60E builds, because that saves the sprag. Because the sprag, as you know, is one of the fragile parts of that series of transmission. Yeah, Bill, like I said, I had it probably in late February, early March before they came out with it, and I was the same way. It knocked me down. Spent a lot of time under the covers in the bed, that's for sure, sleeping. Now, see, I never threw up. I mean, I just, like I said, I drank lots of water, never threw up, but I rarely do ever throw up. I think, man, I can't even think of when the last time I was, even through some of my drunken stupors when I was young. But, other than that, the last time I can remember throwing up, I kid you not, was a New Year's Eve party that I went to, and I was like 20 years old or something like that. And, it was bad. It was a bad day. It is a mixed bag, Jerry. I mean, and now they're saying they got this other strand that's coming out that, they're trying to spread the fear of death, on everybody, and everybody starts panicking and getting uptight about it and stressing out. And here's the deal. I mean, when you stress, it also brings your immune system down. I mean, the best thing you can do that I know for me, this is just for me. I am no doctor by any means, but I know that just if you stress about something like that, it's gonna put you in the weeds. It'll take your immune system out and do all sorts of damage. Best thing you can do is rest. Try not to push it. I know a lot of people are really dedicated. Well, you got to work. I get that, but on something like that, you just need to take care of yourself, slow down, drink tons of water, not soda, not tea, not coffee. Drink lots of water, because the last thing you want to do is get dehydrated with all that stuff. Yeah, and there's, to me, there's controversy over that. Just like I've got an aunt that's 98, I think, 97 or 98. And this is what irritates me to death, is the fact that they wouldn't even let the family members go in and see. We couldn't see my aunt. We had to do it through a window. But since she got the first shot, then they can allow the family member to come in. I'm sorry, what stinks in that deal? I mean, it doesn't seem right to me at all. And this triple mask crap, yeah, I don't know what Fauci's thinking, but I mean, how the hell are you supposed to breathe? I mean, tell me that. I mean, you can't. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, my parents raised me, and my mom told me about this the other day, and I said, look, I says, I'm not going to agree to that, because I mean, you've got to be able to you breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide, but if the mask is somewhat restrictive and filtering and stuff like that, to me, I think you're breathing in the same air you're just trying to get out, and lowers your oxygen content. It doesn't make any sense to me. Plus, I don't like to have anything covering up my mouth. Excuse me. Anal swabs. Oh my God. Oh, that's bad. I haven't heard that one. Oh, that's hilarious. Anal swabs. Well, here's the other thing too, is when they were testing for this stuff, why you got to stick a nose halfway up to the top of your, to the underside of your eyeballs to get a sample? I mean, that didn't make any sense. That's the biggest thing I'm afraid of, Bill, is that, I'm not going to be able to get to see her. When we go up there, the best we can do is through the window. I mean, that's better than nothing, I guess, but it bothers me. I agree. It does weaken the immune system. Demonstrating how to do that. Oh my God. That's just gross. Is that the new terminology to fudge packing? Oh, I didn't just say that, did I? Sorry. I just kind of slipped out. Jerry, you're never too old to learn something new. If you get to the point in life where you say you can't learn anything, that you know it all, then you need to give it up and dig yourself a hole in the ground and climb in it, because I mean, I learned something new every day. That's for sure. And there's nothing wrong with learning a transmission for sure. In fact, I got a new one at work that came in. We had a customer that requested to have the transmission replaced on his half ton. It's a 6L80, and it lost second gear. And occasionally you get one that comes out of the box and it'll be bad or something will happen, and it's got a whopping 600 miles on it, and I got to get it out Monday when I get there and get it tore down. But I think it's got one of those problems, kind of like when the 4L60s, when you lose third and fourth, but you can put it in like manual second and then it'll go. A lot of times the Ford Sprag will let go. Well, I think that's exactly what happened on this one. I haven't had one break on a 6L80 yet like this, but I'm gonna find out. But it's pretty simple repair. If you guys can do a 4L60 or a 700R4, then you can do any of these new ones. The only ones that kind of get complicated is the 10L90s. Those are a little bit different animal altogether. I've had to do one since they've been out, and they came out in 2018. I had to do one in Tahoe that blew. They call it a triple clutch just for that reason. It's got 3 clutches in one housing, and it blew it apart, but it was pretty cool. So much for the fudge. Yeah. Yep. That's pretty funny. The new Trailblazer has a 10-speed in it? Really? I didn't think the Trailblazers had a 10-speed in it. I think they were a 9. I'm betting it's probably a 9. That'd be a 2021 Chevrolet Trailblazer. Well, there's got 2 different ones. Eden 6-speed manual. Oh, yeah? Or 6L50. Really? I wonder if there's a... I didn't think those were rear-wheel drive, but the 6L50 would be a rear-wheel drive. Transmission. Yeah, there it is. Depends on the VIN. 2021 or 2020 would be a 9T45, which is a 9-speed. That's what the old 6-speed used to be, or the VT40, which is a CVT. To answer your question, Jonathan, about those, I had a Cadillac XT4, which is basically the same as your Trailblazer, that had a a 9-speed in it. And the first one of those I got, there was actually a bulletin out for it too. A couple of them, they had a problem with the transmission oil cooler. It's transmission mounted on a few of those. And what they found out is the cooler, there was some machining problem with the cooler, and it would leak coolant into the transmission and turn it to pink, strawberry milkshake. And what we had to do is we had to take a sample of it, and they gave us this kit to measure the ethylene glycol content in the transmission fluid. And if it was past a certain amount, you just replace the transmission. And that's the first one I had to do. So I've had to put one in one of those so far. But other than that, there's been some programming issues. And they've got a new bulletin out for a torque converter shutter on that. And it takes Dex 6 also. And you replace you drain and fill it a couple of times and you're good to go. And it does fix it. Need a haircut hella bad, huh? Yeah, I don't have much hair to worry about. I mean, mine's pretty thin, but I mean, it's getting kind of shaggy. I'll start to grow wings over my ears. Jonathan, it mattered on the VIN because there was two different VIN options. One was a VIN 5 and one was a VIN M as in Mary. The VIN 5 looked to have been a rear wheel drive, which I haven't seen that. And I didn't know it was an option. It may be a different market that one's available, or it may have been an overseas version. So yeah, they run pretty good. I drove one of those. It was an XT4, but it had the 9-speed in it. I drove one to school here not long ago, and it shifted great. And the thing got phenomenal gas mileage. I couldn't believe it. See, I don't understand why they come out with a Trailblazer, to be honest with you. Because I mean, it's so close to the Blazer, and the Blazer's a decent vehicle. Hi, Brett. To answer your question, I explained in the last one, there's some things I've got to get taken care of. I don't want to, I may run into title issues on Scarlet, and I want to make sure that the title's in my name before I dig into it too deep. I would love to get started on it. I really would. I've still got the donor stuff to work on too, so. I'm reading here, guys, so. Wanted to change the molded pistons. If I do I need to do? What all do I need and do? You suggest Z-Pack clutches. Yeah, I would definitely go with a Z-Pack. Yes, and I would definitely do the molded pistons for sure. I've seen those aluminum pistons where it'll shoot the seal out it'll blow the seal out of the piston and then it'll leak. So the molded pistons pretty much eliminate that, and they're a little bit better design. At the very least, on my 700s 4L60Es, guys, at the very minimum, I will do a wide band on every one. And when you do a wide band, you need to replace the reverse input drum to get a nice clean surface, and because most of the time that band will grab hard enough to where it'll actually make the drum kind of hourglass, if you think about it that way. So you want to give a good flat surface for that wide band to go on. You can use those with a stock servo, or you can replace it with a super servo or a Corvette servo. For a daily driver, I wouldn't go anything higher than a Corvette servo, because the super servos are stout. They definitely hold. But good set of clutches. I like to use Raybestos clutches. I've had excellent luck with them. I've used Borg Warners before. No problems with those either. I'm just kind of particular to the Raybestos. But the Borg Warners are a factory clutch material. That's what comes in all the GM factory stuff is Borg Warner clutches. So wideband, reverse input housing, sun shell, 29 element sprag for sure. And definitely replace the bushings if you're overhauling it, bushings and bearings and that kind of stuff. You know, the bushings are overlooked quite a bit, but they're an important part to make sure that you get oil where you need to have the oil. Very important. But yeah, I mean, the 700s definitely do a 700s or 4L60. Definitely do an upgrade to the TV, bigger boost valve in the pump. I always put a 13 vein pump in my pumps, no matter what, whether or not it's a 10, used to be a 10 or not, it gets a 13 vein pump. Make sure the spring is either a dual spring or a very stout spring inside the pump, and you'll have yourself a pretty stout unit.